everyone, welcome to this week's reading. I am Casey Hadel with the Elemental, and today is June 7th, 2023. If you haven't noticed, energy has been a bit intense coming out of this full moon in Sagittarius, and things have really seemed to be like lightning out there. So I just want to keep you in the loop that this week is definitely the week to ground, because we're all like these conduits of energy that is moving through us at a constant basis. And when the universe, the earth, is going through a huge change, we're also going through a huge change because we're feeling this vibration coming through us. It's kind of electrical. And all those little bits and pieces, that static that we haven't processed from our shadow side of ourselves, is definitely coming up and being illuminated so that we can be aware of our things that we need to process, being aware of things that we know we are X, Y, and Z, but we're still doing T, U, and V. Okay, and so that awareness is coming up so that we can shift and make those changes that are necessary. But when that energy is running through us, if we are not grounded, we just kind of get carried away in it. And that carried awayness can come across as anger. It can come across as just having like a super intense amount of energy, or it can also come across as, hey, you need to sleep right now because you're receiving these super intense downloads with this energy current that is moving through. I feel like it will continue to remain intense until about Saturday. So look, just bunker down, ground yourself, make sure you're drinking tons and tons of water, because when we're receiving these upgrades, it takes a lot of work for our body to process them, and that also means it also needs to detox all that stuff in there that is coming up for it to release. And even as I'm making this video, there's this crow in the background. It's like, wah, wah, wah. You know, he's wanting to come into awareness, and whenever I think of a crow, I always think of our shadow side, and it's like the things that we know we should be working on, like for me, grounding, that we're not working on. It's time. So make sure you're doing the do this week so that way you can push through and be your highest best self. Now, we can always be our highest best self, and that is absolutely fine because no one expects that except for maybe you. Okay, so making sure you're giving yourself that break. If you're not getting the things done that you have expected to get done, give yourself a little grace because this energy is really intense. Also, just being aware of not getting drawn into the worldly fear that is kind of playing itself out in the public eye. You know, I don't know how many places I've been to that I have heard everyone's talking about how high groceries are, how high everything is, how, you know, even just me, like going to the store, things are like double the price that it was last week. We are definitely experiencing some intense inflation in the government, and I kind of feel like too that's pushing people over the edge. We're being pushed over the edge because there's just things we won't tolerate anymore. So making sure you're being grounded and not getting carried away into that shit is really important this week. So let's draw a couple cards and see what they have to say. Also, I feel like something that's really important to tell everyone is that right now our relationships are kind of in the spotlight. And it doesn't have to be like a romantic relationship. It can just be a relationship in general. Certain relationships are ready to move on to that next stage, and certain relationships are just ready to be done and over with. And that is all happening for, you know, once again, our highest best self. So allowing those things to move through us, but not become us, is really, really important. Okay, let's see what messages we have in the cards today. And today we're using the Rebel deck, which, if you don't know, it is a bit snarky. There are some curse words in there, and it might make you laugh a little bit, which I kind of feel like we all need that. Okay. Our first card this week is, what the hell are you waiting for? Get that shit done. If you're waiting for a sign, well, here it fucking is. Stop putting that shit on the back burner and get it done. Like, the energy is super distracting right now. So ground yourself, make yourself that list and start checking off bits by bits. But do not hold your standard super high. Just get the things done that you know you need to get done, not the things that you want to get done. There's a difference there. Okay? It's fucking dark and you can't see a thing. Get your head out of your ass pronto. Once again, if you let yourself to get wrapped up in that energy this week, it will carry you away. Come back to you. Run to you. You are important. It's within inside you that you will find where you need to go and what you're doing. But if you keep getting stuck in that fear mindset, you're going to get carried away with it. So ground, come back to you so you know what's going on, rather than getting carried away in other people's emotions, or this roly dynamic that is playing out, because it is very intense out there. Love. Get some, give some, it will cheer your ass up. You know, to me, I take that as, do you this week. Make sure you're doing the self-care, because with that intensity, listen to yourself. If your body is saying sleep, then sleep. But make yourself the list and get those things done so you can be productive. Not the things you want to get done, but the things you need to get done. You are going through some tough shit. Everyone has their turn. Welcome to yours. Gather your tired ass up and handle it. Once again, we are going through the ringer this week. And I know astrologically there are a lot of squares happening with the moon and the sun. And that intensity is really playing out in the role dynamic. Even people are just kind of edgy. So just know that you are going through the shit. So making sure you're taking that extra care so you can get through that with your head on your shoulders. Time to let go. This is that shadow side, if you will, coming up to be processed. Move the fuck on. It's time to let that shit go that you've been holding on to forever. You know what it is. Now is the time, and here's your sign. And your last card today, believe what you see. Face reality or live in fucking La La Land. Choose bravely. You cannot hide from it forever. It is up to you to deal with your shit. Call a spade for a spade. You know what things need to change. You know what things you are and what things you are not. And honor that so that you can move forward in your highest, best self this week. So thanks for joining me today. And I hope you have an awesome week. And I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.